Shady, you were the highest paid running back in football for a few years during your stint. I believe you're still the sixth highest paid running back in the history of the National Football League. So you know a thing or two or three about making money, don't you? I want to know, how is this Justin Jefferson deal going to impact CD's deal? I remember when Arian Foster got paid. You said you wanted to get some bread. I remember when Matt Forte got paid. I'm sure that impacted you. When Adrian Peterson got paid, that impacted you. You ended up getting your bread. You always have. You always will. But how does Justin Jefferson getting paid impact CD's bread? I mean, CD's up next, right? It's funny because, it doesn't matter what position it is. You always wait for the guy that's about to get a deal. You're waiting for him to go, right? And you're trying to hold off. Hopefully, he goes before you do. But JJ set the market, right? And I think that CD is going to get another contract. Now, it's weird because it's always like the little glitches to it. Like who's going to get a little bit more guaranteed? Who's going to get a little money in their first 2 years? Like all of them little things. It's to get a competitive advantage on the contracts. But CD's a big, valuable player for the Cowboys. He's probably, in my opinion, the best offensive weapon they do have. And then you look at Yamar Chase. He's another one that's valued very high for his team. So they're going to get paid. And I think everybody should thank JJ for even getting this contract because now he gets that. Then I get this, and we all get paid. And the best thing about it is you bring up the market for the wide receivers. So I'm at me for this, boys. Quick question, Shady, because this is insight that I think Cowboys fans particularly will want to know. You're obviously a very confident man. You were all decade at the running back, which very simply means not many people were better than you. But you self-admittedly will say there was one. There was one. Everybody got one. Adrian Peterson did. Did there come a point where you said, you know what, AP's the best, so I don't need to make more than him? Like, we'll see to have a point. Like, you know what, Justin Jefferson, he does have records that I don't have. Talk me through the psychology. Obviously, athletes are arrogant, they should be. But even you were like, you know what, Adrian Peterson, he's in a different league. EP is better. I was. But I would say this, our years were different though, right? So he was always off. He got drafted high, right? So first rounders get that type of money. These guys are all first rounders though. So they gonna get that type of money also. But the thing is, they're so close in age and production. Like even Justin Jefferson. He doesn't have more touchdowns, right? I don't think he has more catches. He has more yards though, right? And we always say he's the better wide receiver. He has one more All-Pro. They both have like 3 Pro Bowls. So they're real close. So as an agent, you can kind of argue that, right? And I think the team will push back and say, well, we think he's probably the better wide receiver. But I think in their case, it's easier for him because they're so close in age. They're so close in the draft class and all that match. Where EP was the first rounder, I was the second rounder. He was a couple years in front of me, right? So it was a little bit different. But here, they all got a great shot to get a lot of money. Really quick though, when you are going and negotiating the contract, the first thing you're trying to get is that guarantee, right? So even though he got that 140, I'm assuming that these two dudes are chasing that 100 guarantee. So it has to come in around that. I don't care if y'all add an extra year, whatever it may be. However, you're going to. Guaranteed money is what I need. He just set that market at 100 million guaranteed for the wide receiver spot. Them two dudes are going to get that. Joy, final word. What are your thoughts on JJ's deal having an impact on CD, etc.? Yeah, it'll have a big impact. Obviously, JJ is the number one player on that team, so he was going to get paid. And you have to consider that the Cowboys have a couple of other players to pay. The Bengals have a couple of other players to pay. They have already paid some players.